Hey guys, so today I'm just going to be digging up some dahlias. I've got a few other things in mind that I would like to get done, but as the day goes on, you tend to kind of get distracted and things get pushed aside. So I did want to point out a few beautiful things that are in the garden right now that are showing beautiful fall foliage. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you that. So in the new flower bed that we just started, this is Father Gilia, and isn't this absolutely beautiful? It's showing purples, greens, and oranges and reds, and I cannot wait till spring because that right there are flower buds for next year. So these guys, this one's an older variety. It's not anything new. This is Mount Airy. I believe this one gets 4 to 5 foot tall and wide, so it should fill up this area very nicely. And then the next thing I want to show you while I'm back here is Jetstream Oak Leaf Hydrangea. I've showed this on my Instagram wall. I love how it's so dark up here and then it just starts fading down into the more fire engine color leaves. This one's got a bit of a tilt. I did pick this one up on clearance, but what I'm going to do in the spring, see this little growth point right here? I'm going to pinch this out in order for it to start working on these side shoots and putting energy into some of the lower growth here, so it'll fill out and start becoming more rounded habit. Might as well show you this guy as well. This is a 9 bark that I picked up on clearance as well. This is Fireside by First Edition Plants. Love the black foliage. The Skylander Oriental Spruce is looking beautiful as always, and if you're wondering why the tags are still on everything, it's because first off, I always keep tags usually in my plants and stuff just so I know, such like over here, what I planted there if I'm not familiar with the foliage. And sometimes, well, frankly, I just haven't got the tags off of these guys yet, but it's starting to look really pretty. This is the new stream idea that we're coming up with for the new flower bed. It'll start out here closer towards the, we actually had a piece fall off over there, which is disappointing, but we'll get into that whole situation later. The stream will start up here, come through here, puddle, dip down, oh wait, yeah, dip down, and this will be like a babbling brook type of look, and then come down and then dip down again, and this will be where it ends into a pondless area. We don't want to have to deal with standing water and keeping that clean, so it'll just be continuous, and I'll be able just to collect leaves as they come. I'm sure you also noticed that we have been using our leaves that are around the area and shredding them up and getting them into the flower beds as free natural mulch. This has actually just been recently done. Back there is a couple weeks older and it's actually starting to brown down, which is very nice. Come spring, you won't even notice that it was leaves. But it's time to get into work. So on the agenda today is just to get the dahlias up and out of the spots. I'm going to be working a little slow at this because I only have 2 crates currently. Everybody gets separated accordingly, so I remember where I can plant these next year. Some of them are going to go into cutting gardens. Some of them are just going to be display ones because they had smaller stems and weren't able to last in a vase very long. And then there's just some of them I thought were frankly too garish to be in a bed, so in a cutting garden where I like to use them would probably be better suited. So we'll show you where we've got some placed and how we're going to be doing that. This is not a tutorial. If you guys are interested in tutorials, there's many out there. I would highly suggest Erin from the Impatientgardener. She's got multiple videos on that, and Yulia from YGarden also, and I will link them below so you guys can go check out their tutorials. But aside from that, I should probably just get started and stop blabbling. See, it's been a long day at work and I just need to get some work done. So let's get going. quickly show you here. This is Dahlia Blue Boy. Not very blue, obviously. The name suggested. It was actually more of a purple, more of like a deep dark fuchsia, leaning towards more purple. But this, I couldn't even tell you what the tuber looked like when I planted it, but I can tell you it wasn't this big. So there's definitely going to be a couple more off of this come spring. You can see there's actually the nodes up here are swelling. I can kind of see them, but most of this will just stay in there, and then everything looks to be intact. So I did lose one little tuber in the process, but not that big of a deal when you have something this beautiful. So we'll just cut off these guys, clip it all back. Actually, we'll grab the pruners now and do it. So we're just going to take it and I'm just going to cut these right back. I need to find my good pruners, guys. I've lost them somewhere. And I just sharpened them too. That's why I'm having such troubles with these ones. I should have sharpened these while I had a chance. Oh, come on now. All of this is going to just dry up anyway when we go to store it, so there's no real point in having it. It's just extra things holding this back from keeping its own moisture in the tubers themselves, and we want them to store really well. So I'm just going to keep cleaning these up. It's good to go. So the next set of dahlias are right here, and this flanks the walkway in. Got more stuff over here. But this area has, I believe, 5. Dahlia creme de sais. I'll have to look up the name on that one. They're beautiful bicolor. They're soft pink on the outside and then a dark purple on the back of the petals. And these were phenomenal this year. 5 of them in this area were outstanding, but it's time to dig them up and clean up this bed, which I'm really excited to do. So get into it. So that variety was called So that variety was called creme de case. Sais. The focus, will it? Anyway, I was expecting a lot bigger tubers off of these. Some of them have some rot in them and hollow areas, so I'm gonna have to go through and groom these really, really well. But really expected a lot bigger. I mean, that's a healthy tuber, obviously. But some of these other ones were just puny. This one's actually, like, you can tell this is the old growth. I'll take that off in the spring, but like I had rotted areas. This one, thankfully, it's just the tip. I'll be good with that one. But like I pierced that, I believe. I mean, this tuber might just be junk. I don't know. putting those off to the side though. Some of the other ones don't look that great. I mean, this one's probably the best looking one. No, I lied. I got one more that looks really, really good here. This one's a lot better. Still got a lot of dirt around them. I generally don't clean these off very well. I just kind of give them a shake and whatever comes off, and then whatever I can rub my hands over, and then I leave them in that dirt till spring, and then I wash them and then revitalize everything, and we're good to go. But this one, we got maybe one little area I might have to nip off after we let it dry for a little bit, but just some general cleanup on it. But I'm kind of disappointed. I hope these store well. These really performed really, really well. Um, so I'm hoping to be able to put these in a different spot next year because this area is going to fill out. Obviously, since I have a rose, a butterfly bush, which is a white, huge butterfly bush, there is a storm, perfect storm, perennial hibiscus, a strawberries and cream, hydrangea. Something is going to have to go, and I'm thinking it's going to be the hibiscus that's going to have to go in this spot, just because of how everything else is going to fill out. But who knows? Aside from that, I've got a couple more that I have to dig up, but it won't be till later. In fact, I need to cut the stem back quite a bit more. So, I mean, when you go to do these, it's pretty simple. Just whack it back. You know, my word. Oh, look at that. That's over here. That's thick. I mean, that's just pure wood. So it's bigger than, well, just as big as my eye. But that's pretty much that task done. I'm going to blow out this area and then do a little bit of weed whacking around the edge to get my edge all good, and then take the rest of the stuff to the compost pile that I have going. And I think that's going to wrap it up for today. This video obviously turned into a grooming session, which is fine because that means this section is done, and I'll just let everything else stand for the winter, and then I will come back and lightly clean everything up, and then we'll be good to go with everything else. So that is going to wrap up this video. All I did was got the dahlias out that were in these areas, and then I went ahead and did a nice cleanup, blew out the beds, gave it a nice trim. This is an area that's very narrow. Sorry, excuse my stuff that's still out that I have to take back in. That Rob doesn't generally get in here with our riding lawnmower with, so I just come in through with that weed whacker lawnmower attachment. It's a Black & Decker. It's about $100. Maybe it was like $80. We got it a couple years ago when we had grass inside of our patio at our apartment, and it's actually come in handy quite a bit here, and it makes it nice because I can put in tight little walkways of grass, and I just have to maintain them. It's not that big of a deal. The weed whacker is battery operated, and then it conjoins with the blower as well, which isn't like the highest power blower, but it gets the job done, and that's all that matters, because for some reason I can't seem to get our backpack mower to ever start. But Rob comes through and generally gets all the leaves out that way, so we'll let him continue on. But we'll just kind of show you here was simply cut in with the edge, gave it a nice new edge, trimmed up the grass around here, cut back the peonies, dug out the dahlias that were here and there, got them into our totes. I did trim back the hibiscus that was back there. I still have the tag just left there just in case. Plus, I need to know what variety it is when I go to move it next year, because this area is going to fill in quite a bit, I'm sure. Until then, I can put in the dahlias and make it temporary. But just kind of a little, I guess we'll just do a quick little tour of what's all in here. We have a weeping blue spruce, the perfect storm hibiscus, strawberries and cream, hydrangea. This is a white butterfly bush that literally was probably that tall out of the ground this year, and boom, I love this thing. It was like the perfect spot for it too. A peach color rose, which you can kind of see here. It's really beautiful, has a great scent. And what I just noticed is it's putting on some beautiful rose hips that are going to be beautiful during the winter time. So I'll not be trimming those back because that is really, really pretty. Stands out. I believe this is an echinacea. I'm not quite sure what variety it is. I don't remember planting it, but I think I'm just going to let this thing go and see what happens. If it's a weed, I'll pull it out next year. I honestly just forget. Stachys humilo. This is a creeping salvia ground cover. A random sedum that broke off from one of my other plants, and I just kind of stuck it in here. And I think it's alive. There's a number of phlox through here. These two are the proven winners phlox. These are Monrovia phlox. I believe these are bright pink. I could be wrong. They might be a purple. Yes, these are the purple ones. I moved the pink ones up front. A daylily that I do not like. I don't like the color of this one, so this one's going to be given away to a friend. This one I do like, I think. We'll have to just figure out this when they start blooming again. I just planted this aster not long ago. Silver barcode artemisia, which you saw that I did cut it back away from here. I am planning to expand this bed quite a bit next year for a couple ideas that are going on over here. Our dear friend Nona's statue that was in her garden, we've placed over here because eventually this will be the Nona garden in her memory. This is actually her limelight that went through a heck of a transplant shock. I'm just going to leave it alone and pray that it comes back. That's not a dead branch, that's just a branch. But you can always check the health of a bush by just doing that. And see how it's green behind that little bit of me scraping with my fingernail? That means the plant is still alive. So we're good there. The plant's okay, it's healthy. It will come back in the spring, and I'm going to give it a nice big tidy up. A random delphinium that I got, I've been letting it go to seed, and it's bloomed multiple times. Cadiment, salvia. There's actually a set of phlox back there as well. Some more stachys. This is a pink variety. This is a Jackmani clematis. Stachys Van Hasen, the big leaf one. I can't think of its name right now. These are Sweet Romance lavenders that I just kind of transplanted over here to get them out of an area that I thought for sure was holding too much water, and I know this area is a little bit more dry. I also cut down my grandmother's peonies that are in here. A white swan echinacea, that is a white Japanese iris, a mock orange, Stachys Von something or another, and then this is actually a purple rose. Excuse this mess. This is all getting handled a little bit later. We have been finding all these rocks, and we had a big pile back here. These are from my shed that I need to be moved back in or just repurpose. A rain barrel we never got hooked up, but we got for a steal, so we just put it over here because it will tap into this pipe. And then my greenhouse got flipped over, and I've got to get that actually geared up and going for spring. And I believe this is a Jackmani clematis. This came from our friend Nona's house as well. But I'll just kind of pan out and over. You can tell this is one ugly garage. Our house was built in 1874. I'm not quite sure when the garage was built, but they've done patches before we moved in and we've just not got around to it. Our plan is next year we're just going to go ahead and paint the entire garage. It's going to be a dark gray, almost on the verge of black, and then hopefully in time we'll be able to re-side this like they have re-side at the top. We plan to actually take this part out and then do board and batten down the entire side. The plan for this is to actually do a grid on this wall, so I might need one more Jackmani clematis over in this corner in order to do it. But then we also are thinking a big trough right here, either a hypertufa trough or a galvanized metal one that we will do a rust effect on, and then we'll have a little spigot coming out of the wall. A number of ideas, we're not quite set on it yet, but this is an area that I would like to work on in the spring, so you can kind of see, and this flanks our walkway coming in. This area is going to get some work next year as well, but there we go. We got some cleanup done. One bed down. I feel like a million left. I'm so far behind. Oh, and we did collect some seeds. That's what's in the white envelope today. So those were Zinderella series zinnias, and I don't know which varieties they were. I know they were pink, lilac, and peach, because I put the pink up front. But those are those. Fortunately, we won't know which one's which because it got hit late, but we have some seed from it, and that's all that matters. We'll put them in the cutting garden. But that is going to wrap up this video. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we will be doing a lot more fall cleanup. We'll talk about some certain plants to cut back here soon, and things to leave up so you have winter interest, like your, hydrangea heads. Some people don't like them, some people do. It's just one less thing I have to deal with right this minute. Considering mine are getting hacked back, perfectly fine with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.